live with the first actual live draft review. No more writing. No more me trying to spell people's names right. No more grammar. This is it. Me speaking. So Dorso and Rocky, you're going to love this because I'm going to sure to screw up a couple of names. I have 10 minutes to do the review. This is an objective opinion based on pre-draft rankings. And so here we go. I think the team that has the most troubles, I grade their draft an F, is the former champion, returning to the league after a couple-year hiatus, Danny Fair. Felt like after his first two picks, I don't know what was going on. He has a lot of ifs. Crabtree as the second receiver. Fitzgerald, I think the keys to his team is Fitzgerald stepping up and playing like he's capable of. His sleepers, Percy Harvin, who could step up with, especially with Sidney Rice being hurt, and his steal of his draft, I think, could be Anthony Gonzalez. He was a big favorite last year. Not many expected him to step up in the Marvin Harrison role, but then he suffered a knee injury. Next team, I group all these teams together. I'm going to give them a grade of a C, C plus, C minus, depending. So I'm going to start from left to right. I think down the stretch, drafted 4 studs. First 4 picks, solid. Dallas Clark, #1 receiver, no doubt, in the world. Had a great season last year, brought franchise a championship. After that, I have no idea what happened to their draft. I just don't like it. I don't like Beanie Wells. I think selected Beanie over the likes of Jonathan Stewart, Barber, and Matt Forte, and then passed on C.J. Spiller. The keys to his team are going to be his horses. If his horses could carry him throughout the year, he'll be a contender. If he missed on them, then he's in some trouble. Sleeper, I would say, is Bradshaw. Didn't see my writing there. Just got nominated the Giants starting tailback. Got him later in the draft, so potentially that could be his second back to Adrian Peterson. Next team, I want to say Squabos. I think I just don't like their second back. They're relying on LaDainian and Moreno, even though their first couple picks, I wouldn't say they're a C, maybe they're B minus, but I just think the key to their team is going to be Matt Ryan, rebounding in his 3rd year in the league. Well, Roddy White held out last year, so see if he could bounce back from a poor last season. His sleeper, like I said, is Moreno, and he hasn't played all preseason, and his steal of the draft could be McCluster. A lot of people reporting that he could be this year's Percy Harvin. Next up, I would say C minus for flying high. I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to throw 40 touchdowns this year, but I don't like the pick of Ryan Grant. Not that I don't like Ryan Grant. I just feel like Greg Jennings would have just been the power move right there. You would have had Jennings and Rodgers would have been a tough tandem. After that, relying on Joseph Adai for your second back. Like I said, the key to his team, I think, is the Rodgers-Grant connection. If they both could get theirs on a weekly basis, he's going to be a tough beat. And his sleeper could be Eddie Royale with Marshall gone. Someone's going to have to catch 100 balls. So I don't think Gaffney's up to it. So Royal could be the Wes Welker for Denver. And I guess in the preseason, as you can see, Orton likes to throw. The Pimps, I would give their a B minus. I just think the only thing about their draft is Andre Johnson going first, Ryan Matthews, solid pick. I think the key to his team is his quarterback, Carson Palmer. He really hasn't played well the last couple seasons, but now he has a lot of talent. Steal of the draft, I think, was Clinton Portis. Many people 2 years ago, he was a second, early 3rd round pick, and I think his sleeper could be his quarterback solution in Stafford. Had a great preseason. Next, and then I go to R&R. It's just so vanilla. It's a vanilla draft. It's guys like Peyton Manning. I think the keys to his team are D'Angelo Williams. If he could rebound to what he performed in 2 years ago, I think he's going to have a hard time though with his receivers: Ochocinco, Dwayne Bowe, Donald Driver. He just going to need some. This is a receiver league, and he's going to need somebody in that group to really step up. I think the steal of his draft is Mendenhall, getting him in the 3rd round. A lot of questions about Big Ben's suspension. So that team has a lot of question marks. Next is the next tier. I want to start off with Gavaducci. Give him a B minus. I think it all depends on Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson can step up. I think they have a decent team. I love the C.J. Spiller pick. I think that's the steal of the draft, and also like Santonio Holmes late in the draft. I think he's truly the number one there on a Super Bowl caliber team. Next is the Young Guns. I thought they had an excellent draft. Frank Gore, Calvin Johnson, Jamal Charles, absolutely stole Charles in the third round. I think the key to their team is going to be their quarterback. Took Favre before Flacco could come back to hurt them, and sleeper is Macklin. Could be second year with Cobb. We're going to throw a lot, step up into a big role. Next, I'm going to grade myself. I would say Young Guns probably should have went after me. I like my draft. All relies. I think the key to my draft is Miles Austin. He was my third last year. Need him to perform like a one. I think where I screwed up, I took Hicks over a starting tight end, so that would be my glaring weakness. I think my sleeper is Mike Wallace. Really catching bombs and from early last year, waiting for Big Ben to get back so he could emerge into something special. Next are my two favorites. I got them 1A, 1B. I'll start out with the Mangs. Really like their team. I think with Vincent Jackson should be traded. Could possibly have two number one receivers right now. Their number one is Wes Welker, but I really do like their backs. The only thing I felt they should have did was take Ray Rice over MJD. Just have a personal thing against MJD. Had him last year. Okay, I'm going to move a little quicker. Like I said, key to their team is going to be the receivers. Someone's got to step up. And I don't know the steal of their draft. I think Johnny Knox could be the steal and sleeper of their draft. Could be a number one by the year end. I forgot to review the franchise, so I'm moving fast here. But I had them at B. Love Ray Rice. Absolutely stole him at 8. Can't believe he fell that far. I think the key to his team is going to be finding that second back. And his steal sleeper is Malcolm Floyd if he becomes the number one with Vincent Jackson being traded. And like I said, my favorite is Bo Jackson Hip. The Hip, I think, did an excellent job. I think they dominated this draft with their selections. I love their first two receivers, Roddy White and Randy Moss. And I happen to like their backs, Pierre Thomas and Best. They think with their two horses at receiver, all they really need these guys to do is catch passes, score some touchdowns. I think they'll fare okay with that tandem. Took Cobb and then come back and take Flacco, gives them flexibility at the QB spots, plus some trade bait to improve their team. I got 2 minutes to go. I'm going to do my predictions. With the current playoff setup, you look at it, I think the playoff teams, I think the division winners are Bo Jackson's Hip and the Mangs. I think first round playoffs, the Mix versus Pimps, Young Guns versus Franchise. I think Bo plays the Mix. Young Guns plays the Mangs. I think Bo and Mangs meet in the Super Bowl with Bo Jackson's Hip getting their second chip. There you go. I'll be trying to do this more because I hate typing. And good luck, everyone.